Welcome back to my channel, guys. Tonight we're joined live by Hotep Jesus, Mr. Viral Video himself, making Starbucks look like a bunch of jackasses. But what do you like to be called? Do you go by your the nickname you go by, or do you go by your actual name?
uh, Hotep Jesus. I think I like the way that it rolls off the tongue, and yeah, Hotep Jesus is the way.
Even though your marketing stuff and your book and stuff is under by your real name.
Yeah, that stuff is under my real name for obvious reasons. Um, but I've never liked my name though. Like the name
Really?
Brian. Yeah, I just felt like there's a million Brians in the world, and I'm too unique to share a name with these fools. It's like I'm nothing like these other Brians.
You should flip your marketing stuff to Hotep Jesus,
Yeah,
and flip the book to, your next book come out as Hotep Jesus.
right, right. Maybe I should. I don't know. I feel like the government name has to have some legitimacy,
Yeah.
right? So when you Google my government name, like some white doctor pops up, and I'm like, nah, yo, you fucking my shit up, yo. Yes, I gotta take that spot. So I'm trying to do SEO on my real name.
There you go. You're like, yeah, you Mr. Sharp, I don't care if you cure cancer. I need to be above you.
Yeah, I don't care how many lives you save. It's not more important than
Right.
that, damn it. Yeah. But
Yeah,
that's where
that's
I'm at, man.
dope though, dude. And so you blew up because you do comedy as well, correct? You do some comedy stuff? Or
Uh,
like videos, like comedy video style, or
I'm a dynamic person, you know. I'm, and it sucks for me because in marketing, you have to be niche to catch. You have to be able to describe what you are. And I've always struggled because here I have myself who can make a joke. I can entertain, I can educate, um, I can be serious, I can talk politics, we can talk investing, we can talk business, we can talk startups, you know, and I can do all the, I can write, I'm an author. I write blogs that do thousands of hits, so I know how to write really well. I'm a great speaker. I used to be a rapper, you know.
really?
Yeah, I used to be a rapper. I was on tour. You know what I'm saying? We were on tour. Me and my partner Demic, we were on tour. We toured for 2 summers, 2 years, I want to say.
Damn.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you how beast we were. We put on the TGI Fridays tour,
Oh, nice.
and it didn't exist. We created it. Like we contacted corporate and was like, "Yo, like, fuck with us."
That's
You know what
awesome.
I'm saying? And so we like were performing. Like I would stand on the bar at TGI Fridays and perform. Like this stuff has never been done before. And then we do car shows, open up for like Far East Movement,
Nice.
um, DJ Khaled, Trina. We did Six Flags with Soldier Boy. So I had a successful music career. I worked for 50 Cent in his marketing department. I launched a sports drink for Carmelo Anthony. I've done a lot.
So you're just an all-around entrepreneur in all rights.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because they went after your video blew up and everything, people started labeling you comedian. Well, the video was funny. It was fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah,
Especially after
thanks.
you heard what the motivation behind it was. That it was
Right.
to troll them in essence. It was a big ass troll.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, and so after that, you ended up on Fox News and elsewhere. It's like how'd that hit you? Like getting on freaking going on Fox News off of a random video put out on Twitter, right? You put it out on Twitter?
Yeah, put it on Twitter, Periscope. The thing is with the Fox News stuff was that's not the first time I've gone viral, and some people put out viral videos to go viral all the time. I've figured out ways over the years to just do things that make people talk.
Yeah.
So um, when 50 Cent first dropped his book, The 50th Law, I was like one of the first people to cop it, take a picture with it, and I made it to his blog, and that blog post went viral. Like kid cops, 50 Cent's book. One time I was arrested, and I was tweeting from jail. Like I posted a selfie from jail, like in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? And that went viral. Like a bunch of newspapers picked that up, and online newspapers. A dude named Phil Spector was the main journalist.
Yeah.
Um, I had a friend in Brazil, and she emails me. She goes, "You were just on TV over here." I'm like, she's like, "You are famous." This is when I was rapping. She's like, "You are famous." I'm like, "What?" I was on TV, but they ran a special about like rapper celebrities in jail or something like that, and it was me, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, and like some other guy. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had a knack for doing things that just grabs people's attention. Like I kind of know what it is. So when Fox News called me, of course I was happy. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Fox News, here we go. This is mainstream, late night, primetime TV. Um, when they told me Laura Ingraham show, I didn't even know who Laura Ingraham was. Like, all right, cool, Laura Ingraham, fine. So I called one of my homeboys. He's like, "Yo, that's the LeBron chick." I'm like, "Oh, where?" He's like, "Yeah, that's the one that told LeBron, shut up and dribble." I was like, "Oh shit." So I'm like, "Damn, I'm gonna look like a sellout going up here," you know. But it was fun, you know. I think I did a pretty good job executing my feature on there. And I think I made our team proud, Hotep Nation team proud. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun, man.
So did you and I ask because I mean you lean like center, right? You would call yourself a centrist, or would you say you're more conservative? Where would you actually, if you had to box yourself in, where would you fall?
Conservative gang gang all day, baby. Conservative gang gang. You know? Um, Sometimes when I speak, people say, "You sound more centrist. You sound more liberal than you lead on. You sound more libertarian." Um, I'm not gonna argue that, you know. I do want to find middle ground between the left and the right. The issue is this. I know that the left is so far left
Yeah.
that we can't even have the conversation to bring it center,
Mm-mm.
you know? So I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to go right.
Yeah.
I'm team right. I would not label myself as a conservative, but I would use conservative as an adjective.
Gotcha.
See, it's
Gotcha.
two separate things. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's like, are you a black conservative? No. Are you conservative? Yes. Then there's the aspect of I'm a volunteer mercenary for the right, for the conservatives, although I don't completely 100% align with them. Screw the things we disagree with on. We got to get rid of the left. We can
Right.
argue about the shit we care about later, but we got to get the left up out of here because they are bugging.
Yeah, and
So
it's
that's
it's the progressives, man. It's like
right.
I I fall center. I float, based
Okay.
on the topic and stuff, and so I'll float conservative on things, and I'll come back. But
Yeah.
you look at the left, and even someone like me, they would call alt right. I mean, shit,
Right.
they've called you anti-Semitic and alt right.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
what are they like? I don't understand what they're smoking when one of the first things, if you search Hotep Jesus, other than the Fox News stuff, it's like some article where they're like, oh, he's anti-Semitic and he made a joke at the expense of Starbucks and diversity, and he
Yeah.
happens to be black. It's like, dude, who gives a fuck?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So have you
They
been
just
hit with a lot of that?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. The left, the thing is with cognitive dissonance, the only defense is ad hominems and pejoratives. That's all they
Yeah.
got. That's all they got to lean on. They don't have no evidence. It's all emotion. So yeah,
Yeah,
I was
they
gonna say something, but I can't say it
oh,
yet.
what's that?
I can't say it. I was gonna announce something I'm working
Oh,
on, but I can't
oh,
say it.
you got to push that out to the Twitter, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, and before the viral video, the Fox News stuff, where were you sitting at, like Twitter wise? Like, how are you doing with your following and whatnot? Or did that really like blow you the fuck up?
Now I was popping before that, man. If you ask me, so I was sitting at about 30,000. I want to say 30,000 followers.
Okay, so you've
Um,
gained about 25.
yeah, I want to say I gained. No, I'm sorry. I was at like 38, 39. I was pushing 40.
Gotcha.
So, you know, when the Fox News hit, I think I gained maybe 10. And then just the momentum from that is what's really still growing my account. So I went from like 40 to 50. And then the recent 8K is just because I have a, you know, I'm growing off of that new 10K. Because, Twitter followers go inactive. So the
Yeah,
more recent or active followers you have, the faster you'll grow. But if you don't grow fast, you won't grow at all on Twitter. You have to grow fast on Twitter or you won't
yeah,
grow at all.
yeah,
You
yeah,
You'll lose followers really fast. It's not like Instagram where people tend not to unfollow. Twitter, people are trying to clean up their timelines. But I previously, I say this in my book on marketingbooksbybrian.com. It's not about trying to get the media to pay attention to you or any of that shit. It's about connecting with your audience. Like, does your audience fuck with you? That's all that matters,
yeah,
because word of mouth marketing is the best marketing. Eventually, they're going to tell a friend, and that friend's going to get glued into your brand as well. So, prior to the Fox News, I felt like I had already connected with my audience. So, the new people coming along kind of have to get me now. They have to understand my sense of humor, which is sick at sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to get. You don't know when I'm trolling and when I'm not, because my serious tweets sometimes sound like trolling, and sometimes my trolling tweets sound serious.
yeah.
So it's like you kind of got to get used to my style. Um, but I think the Fox News really just it legitimized me a little bit more with the people that knew me. So like some people be like, "Yo, I knew you before Starbucks." Like that's the thing with my base now. I knew you before Starbucks. So for those people seeing me in Starbucks, I think they're just like happy to know that they knew me before that, and they're happy for me,
Yeah.
you know. Um
Well, and
so
it all goes in how you take it, right? If you're a bloated ego about it, you're gonna, no matter how well you do, you'll eventually fall off, you know.
correct, correct.
And do you think it's like, since all of that? I mean, granted, you had a lot going on before, but since that, have has has your ego inflated at all? And I'm not talking in a bad way, but in general, or are you trying to maintain and be humble about, what you were opted into and had the chance to do because of a fucking hilarious video that you made,
Yeah. Uh Absolutely your ego inflates, but this old white lady told me something back when I worked with 50 Cent. I love this lady. Um oh my God, why is her name slipping my mind right now? This is 2012, 2011. I worked with this lady. I wanted Kathy. She's got to be like 60 years old. But she told me, she said, never get too high and never get too low. And that shit always plays in my mind. So over the years, I've trained myself to never get too happy. When I get good news, I just take it in grace and
Yeah,
understand, like, okay, this is just one event. It's behind us now. It's now the past. And then in the mortgage business, I used to be a mortgage broker. So they used to say, you're only as good as the last deal you made,
yeah,
So, if you closed a $20,000 deal, you know, in March, but you didn't close anything in April, your April, your
Yeah,
sales,
yeah, yeah. You haven't done shit this month because that's the
you,
only month that matters.
right, you know? So I kind of look at the Fox thing as, okay, that was an event in my life. It was great. It happened. What's next?
Yeah, and so what is your next step? I mean, obviously you have something you're going to announce, but you're going to hold on to it for a bit, but where do you want to move forward to? Like, are you
So
wanting to get into conservative activism since you are, you conservative in the adjective form?
no, no, I feel like I already do that.
Gotcha.
It's for me, it's not trying to do anything I wasn't doing before. It's just it's just about turning up and being more consistent, you know, taking what got me here and doing more of it. That's it. I'm not looking to, a lot of people have been hitting me up. They're like, dude, you need another viral video. And I'm like, yo, that's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did that because I could do it. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, and
do it.
the timing worked out, and you just happened to be right outside of a Starbucks when all the crazy shit was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was just, the grace of God and wit, but I'm not out here looking to be a viral troll god. And that's some people try to look at me like you're some viral troll god. And I'm like, nah, I'm a little bit more than that. I'm bigger than that. It's just, I've lots of work ahead of me as far as writing is concerned. That
gotcha.
So my big announcement is my next book, right? And I don't
Nice.
want to talk about what it's about, but when I release that, people are like, yo,
That's
I
awesome.
fucks with him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably my next big move. And then my next book, and my next book, and my next book. I just want to be an author. The
Yeah.
comedian stuff is like, it's just part of my personality, like people just say I'm just funny, so I can't help that. I don't try to be funny. That's just what I am.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and so you're not trying to force the viral video or the being a funny person. You just happen to be funny, and it comes out in times and works out.
correct.
But writing and being an author is your focus and what you want to do with your future.
Yeah, I just want to, marketing has been my expertise, my profession. So by default, I'm in that lane. I felt like the only reason why I wrote that marketing book was because I felt like for being in marketing so long, I had to write about the subject.
Yeah,
So there's like four stages of learning, right? So it's the initial learning. Um, After the initial learning is uh, repeating. No, 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 no. Wait, wait. Let me not fuck this up because I made this up. I made this up. Um, you learn it. Oh no, here it is right here. Okay, you hear it, you read it, you watch it. So those are the four. Those are the three elements of actually learning.
yeah,
Then you have to write about it. Then you have to teach it.
gotcha.
Now you can teach and write about it at the same time. So I felt like in order to solidify my expertise on marketing, I had to publish some volume of work to show, yes, I grasp this concept, not only for other people, but for myself, for my own personal ego, to know that, okay, I've satisfied this aspect of my being. Now I can
Yeah.
write about something else.
Well, and you're going through the steps of your process, which I think is a lot of people's process in essence, because I mean, if you can't, and that's, I mean, working in corporate jobs and everything, those are like steps that they push you to teach people by because that seems to be the best way that humans grab it.
Correct, 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 correct. So,
Someone in the chat was wondering, are you going to ever print or are you going to stick to digital on your books?
oh, my shit's on Amazon.
Oh, you have an actual printed publication.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Amazon. The books are available on Amazon. Amazon rapes though, man. So I just pushed the digital.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, You know, like,
They tried to take all the money.
yeah, they take all your monies, man. So, all right. So, like, a lot of music artists make this mistake, and I think it's a mistake. But they push their music to streams or platforms that take all their money, but they never actually build uh, an infrastructure or some way to get paid directly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at some point, you have to get paid directly and cut out the middleman so you can get paid for your work what it's worth. So with Amazon, a lot of people say, oh, you got to get all these 5-star reviews and push this stuff so people on Amazon can see it. And I'm like, I get that, but nah, I want all my monies.
Well, because I mean, you already have publishing costs and everything else, unless you have a deal with the publisher, right? And then you throw in the deal of the middleman to, promote your book and push it out there to people as well as ship it and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably like a pain in the ass with doubling down on costs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of bullshit. And I'm like, we live in a digital world. So why are we fooling around? And the other thing I like about my book is being digital is I can update it whenever I want.
Oh,
And
you can.
yeah, and I
Oh,
have.
that's awesome.
So the version that's in print, I probably won't update. Like you can buy that, but you're buying that mostly for the original philosophy, the overall. But there are little things I'm still adding to the book, little tweaks here and there, more tips that come to my mind. I'll just add to the digital version. So if you buy it, you're basically getting a book that constantly evolves.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually a smart way of doing it too. If you're just pushing out one book on the topic of like marketing for Twitter and whatnot, and then you can add things or things that you come across or build things in without having to republish or a second volume of it or something and doubling the cost on the person.
Exactly.
It's really
Exactly.
consumer friendly, man. That's really consumer friendly.
Consumer friendly. Yeah. That's what I'm all about, man. Like what's gonna work for the people. Fuck Amazon and all that other shit. What makes my people get the most value?
Yeah. And so after all of this and you get out your next project. So your goal is not to be like a Candace Owens or like a Ben Shapiro where it's like, oh, I publish a few books and then I get heavy into politics because you're already kind of, I don't know, I see that smile, man.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is, I want to talk about this. So, first of all, the name Ben Shapiro comes across my timeline a lot. And guess what? I don't know jack shit about him.
Really?
I'm all right. So remember you talking about ego?
Yeah.
My ego usually tells me fuck everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit about you unless you can help me. And when he comes across my timeline, people are usually complaining about him. So I'm like, all right, well, I
Really?
don't. Yeah,
Do you have a
yeah.
do you have a lot of like liberal leaning people who still follow you and retweet and stuff towards you?
No,
No,
no.
weird. That's weird because he's pretty well known conservative. Granted, he's got
Yeah,
some views. He's not the biggest Trump fan, so that might be why people are complaining about him.
right, right. See, the following of conservatives that I've built is unique from the global conservatives or the national conservatives. See, my conservatives, I feel like are a little bit higher IQ, um, a little bit. They have families, they have children, right?
Mhm.
Um, they're probably my age or a little bit older, a little bit more affluent. Um, but they're no nonsense people.
Yeah,
I think when you got guys like PewDiePie and Alex Jones, they do so much sensationalism that they draw a following that kind of just wants to deal with sensationalism. Whereas me, I'm kind of like looking at things from a very practical point of view, which could come off boring sometimes.
gotcha.
So I get a unique. So they're going to be more critical of Ben Shapiro, where I'm like, I like Trump. Like he's gonna have faults. He's gonna have things we disagree with, but I'm not about to jump off the Trump train just because You know what I'm saying? One policy or whatever. Um, Candace Owens is another thing. So now Candace Owens, I follow her and she follows me. So I know who she is.
Yeah.
Do I want to be Candace Owens? No.
Well, minus away her liberal past and, crazy shit she's done in her past, but
Yeah.
like leading, like interacting and doing a conservative movement, that kind of style of stuff. But maybe
Well,
with the less hatred towards her, because a lot of conservatives don't like Candace Owens or center right
yeah.
people like myself. I don't really dig her, dude, because
Yeah.
you want to
And
dox people? I'll pass.
yeah. I know. Oh, I know. I know. I know, about the website that was a splash page and
Yeah,
and
with quotations around it, splash page.
splash page. Yeah, I know. Um this is good stuff here, right? All right, so check it. I don't want to be Candace Owens. But if I was born Candace Owens, I wouldn't be mad either.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because Candace got the juice right now. She is she is the black star of the right.
yeah,
And that's a great place to be. You have the spotlight on you. You basically control the black voice of the right. So if somebody waved a magic wand and said, "Hey, we can make you Candace Owens too. Would you like that?" I'd be like, "Sign me up." You know what I mean? But would I take my own time resources to go in her path? No, I would not. I would not deviate from the way I move to be like her. I think that if me and her work together, we would complement each other in a way that nobody else could complement her.
gotcha.
But um, me and her have two completely different goals. So that's why we're going to go about this completely different.
Do you think her motivation is pure? Like, do you think she's truly a conservative now, or is she just writing what's popular at the time? Because I feel like, pre-election, the popular thing was social justice and that push. And now that, people are starting to say, that's fucking stupid. There's a lot of garbage over there. And you think she's just following what's making money right now and popular.
You know what it is? It's not about what you say, it's about what you don't say. And she knows exactly what not to say. You see, Hotep Jesus would be Candace Owens if Hotep Jesus wouldn't say certain shit.
Have you held yourself back?
Yes. There's a game you have to play, and I'm learning it, with the right. There's certain topics in the right you're not allowed to touch. There's certain people you have to agree with, you have to align with. And this is politics, period. No matter where you align, left, right, center, up, down, basketball team, corporate America, politics, period, is about knowing when not to say something.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly what not to say. It's easy to know what to say. Everybody knows what to say, but not everybody knows what not to say. And Candace knows the rules to the game, and she's a master at it. She's about to be at 1 million followers, like probably by the end of the year. She's on Fox, you know,
Every couple of weeks.
yeah, Um, and I've criticized her in the past where I said, if you stood on your own too on some of your stuff, I think you would have had your own show by now on Fox. I think that she caters too much to the right sometimes, which makes her um uh less respected.
Yeah, almost as if it's forced.
Yes, it's almost it could come off fake sometimes.
Yeah.
When you never challenge anybody, you know, I've challenged Cernovich. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Cernovich deserves to be challenged. That guy sometimes, fuck, dude. Right?
I mean, I've challenged Cernovich to the point where he cursed me out on Twitter.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, we follow each other now. Like he followed me after the Fox News, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on in the right sometimes. But after the Fox News shit, he decided to follow me, and I'm just like, oh
Oh,
fuck.
now you wanna follow me after you just fucking talked massive amounts of shit to me and was an asshole.
Yeah, you know what it was? I'll tell you that story, right? So what happened with me and Cernovich was this. Um, the Hotep movement started gaining a lot of traction. This was about 2 years ago. It started gaining a whole lot of traction. And he was like, yo, I'd love to shoot a Hotep documentary. Now, at the time, I really didn't know much about him or know who he was. Again, I don't give a fuck about other people, you know. So he said that, and then somebody comes to my mentions, and they're like, "Yo, what do you feel about this white guy doing a Hotep documentary?" So, not knowing the context of what he said that from, or even seeing his original tweet, I was just responding to that person, and I said, "Well, if he's not cutting a check or offering equity, I'm not in." You know, and he went off the shit. He was like, I would pay for this, and I'm putting it out for free. I'm not making any money off of this. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? And it's just like, yo, like I understand you would pay for it, but again, who said Hotep is broke and we wouldn't want to go half on the expenses?
Yeah.
Secondly, if you're shooting a Hotep documentary, we can't have a negotiation for equity. Like I can't own part ownership of this film. It's gonna be all gorilla or whatever your shit is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Yeah.
here he is acting like the white liberal, where it's like you're doing black people a favor. And it's like, no, I don't want to be viewed as you're doing me a favor. I want to be on equal eye with you. If you want to shoot a Hotep documentary, cool, but I want equity, And I'm not saying 75% or 50%. If you spent your money, maybe it's 60-40, maybe 70-30, but you're going to give me something.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just smart business
Right.
in all rights because I mean, if he's fronting the money, then yeah, whatever, 70, 60, whatever is his, but
Whatever.
there should
Yeah.
be some sort of talk and negotiation on that factor,
Right.
right? I mean,
Yes.
even movie stars have it I mean, like that one guy who the only person who took stake in Star Wars was the guy who played Obi-Wan, the very
Okay.
first Star Wars. He took stake in the film.
In the
Only
franchise.
person, yeah. And
Okay.
look how much money and how many times they remade that movie. That motherfucker made a shit ton of money because he bought an option into the movie instead of getting paid up front, like 10
Right.
grand or 20 grand. And look at he made millions from it. So
Right.
it's smarter to play that role and at least talk about it. Like you
At
would
least
think you would
talk
talk
about it.
about it. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I figured, if it got back to him, it would open up room for a discussion. Now we're talking about the thing, but his ego got to him and he just flew off the handle. So then that's when I started talking shit about him and started like, fucking with him and like, all right, well now you're my enemy and now I'm just gonna talk shit about you and I'm gonna pick you every time you do something, I'm gonna just pick you apart and show people how fraudulent you are. But since the Fox thing, and watching Candace Owens and knowing that I have to ally with certain people to whatever. Whatever this game is that we're playing here, like fine, fuck it, Cernovich. I'll smile for the camera with you, but you know, I'll play the game because I see the bigger picture and really going back and forth with Cernovich doesn't do anything for either of us. So it's just like, what's the point? And he's not that important anyway. So
No, he's not. And honestly, dude, he's massively egocentric.
he is.
Like
He,
massively.
yeah. So I don't know. He's cool, I guess. I don't know much about him. Apparently, he was an attorney or some shit like that, and he's doing, financially well off now. And that's great for him.
Yeah,
Take
each their own, right? Make some money, but
Yeah, but you're not about to tell me you're gonna shoot my documentary and not give me a cut off my likeness. I know how this shit works, bitch.
yeah, and now since your viral video and everything else, it's like oh, I want to be your friend now. Like I can
Yeah.
see I can make money off of you or something, Oh, I'm riding into the rescue.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Like what does that mean? Is that what he's trying to do? Like, is he trying to like ride off my wave now, or like why would
I
he
don't
now
know.
follow me? And I don't want to assume why he did. Maybe he saw the Fox News and just like got massive respect for me. You know, I don't know. So I'm just like whatever. I follow back. We're cool. We could work together, I guess. But you're not gonna own Hotep.
Right?
And when people ask me, kind of like to answer your earlier question, people ask me, "Are you conservative?" My first answer is no. I'm Hotep.
Yeah.
You know, that's my label.
Yeah. And that's what I was finding curious is you've probably gotten because you're a black conservative in the
Yeah.
US political system, right? You've
Right.
probably gotten a lot of blowback from the left and everything. And I mean, with them calling you anti-Semitic, and did this roll off of the Soros conversation, or what did it come out of?
I had an interview with damn, I can't remember his name, yo. I don't even pay attention to people I interview with, yo. I'm bad. I got to do better at this. But I did an interview, and he brought up the Jewish question, and I was very frank about it, and it got labeled anti-Semitism, you know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, and then I mean, are you? That's the easiest question to ask. Are you anti-Semitic?
no,
No. So
I'm not.
even though you have a view on the Jewish question, you wouldn't class yourself out as anti-Semitic or anything like that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I used to in high school, and I hate doing this because it sounds like I'm pulling the whole "I have a black friend" thing. But
Yeah.
my ex girlfriend in high school was a Jewish chick. I got friends in the industry who were Jewish. When I worked for 50, like I worked with this dude named Ben Kaplan, and he was like my best friend at the company.
Yeah.
I know this guy named James Weiss, who was my boss, and this is a Jewish guy. And I just like, to me, he was just like almost a god because he just knew everything. He's just like
Yeah.
fucking smart as shit, you know? And he's just somebody I kind of look up to. So I'm not anti Semitic, but I'm very real about the facts. Like, we can't lie and say Jews don't control Hollywood. Like, they do. They admit it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, when I say that, how is that anti Semitism?
Well, that's a lot of things. I mean, that it would be deemed as if you said that white people control X, Y, or Z like the left does. That's not anti-white. That's just being pragmatic and real about it. It's
Yeah.
white nationalism and white supremacy because the white man runs it all.
Yeah.
You can say that, but
Mhm.
you say some real stuff about Jewish people or other religions or black people, and it becomes you're a white supremacist, you're alt
All right.
rightist.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, I always say, like, well, if I was talking about white people, I get away with that shit all day. But
Well, yeah, because it's me and one of my mods, really good friend of mine, like real life friend. He he pulls the we'll pull the race card. Like if someone's like, "Oh, you can't say that," he's like, "Dude, like I'm Hispanic, man. Why can't I say it?" He's like, "You're the one who gave me that card. I can say it.
yeah.
You're the ones who tell me
Yeah.
I'm oppressed, so I'm gonna act like I'm oppressed for you, dumbasses."
Right. Right. You know, um, I don't know but that's where that came from.
Okay, yeah, I was curious about that because I'd seen your when you had talked about the what was it, 60 Minutes interview where Soros answered
Oh
those
yeah.
questions about being in being, well, shit, collaborator with the Nazis,
Oh
essentially,
yeah. Did I
and all
did I
that
think
stuff.
I think I deleted that video.
I saw it live on Periscope, man.
Did you see it live?
Yeah.
You were one of the few people that got to witness like me going ape shit.
It was good stuff, dude. I was sitting at work watching it. It was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I deleted that shit.
But you don't want you never know, man. He might actually come for you.
Yeah.
The man controls everything, right?
Word, word, word. You but now I said a
Mhm.
lot of shit in there that could have been misconstrued
Oh
as
yeah.
as a lot of different things, as hate speech, as misogyny. I was using the B word liberally and that. I was cursing and shit. So I was like, nah, people can't see this. Because if you're not watching me live or you don't understand my brand and you see one clip of me, you're like, who is this demon? you know?
Yeah, and especially with the way YouTube is nowadays, people just clipping stuff to freaking call people out on shit.
Yeah, they can just take 1 minute of my shit and I'll look completely different than if you had the context.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, and that's you mentioned PewDiePie earlier. He's not. He's probably a centrist in all rights where he leans, but he likes to troll people and he likes to be a little edgy.
Yeah,
So, but him, they love taking him out of context on everything.
yeah, yeah, they
It,
do.
it's like dude drops the N bomb in a country that didn't have a lot of slavery issues as the U.S. did, and they want to crucify the guy over it. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Like, we're at the point, and I don't know if you agree. We're at the point in age, and in my personal opinion, that words are just words at this point. And you have to let them roll off your back because it doesn't hold the same context it did 50 years ago. That word, and
Um,
other words. I mean,
here's
from certain people, and I'll let you share because I can't speak to it.
here's where I stand, and it could be because in my age I'm a bit antiquated. But if a white person were to say it to me in my face, I'd be offended, right? If they said it if they drop like so I got a wigger friend. Well, he's not even a friend. He was just a kid that kind of hung around us, right? So it was a wigger associate, right? Little skinny, dirty white kid. And he listened to rap, he'd smoke weed with us, and he thought he was down, homeboy. And he
Yeah.
dropped the M bomb one day. And I turned and looked at him. I'm like, yo, don't say that shit around me. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, but I ain't mean it like that. I'm like, yo, I will fuck you up if you say that shit again. you know what I'm saying?
And it was in the soft A, or was it the hard R?
It's the soft A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is why I'm saying, like, you have some black people who are on the right that feel like the soft day is cool. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is where scenarios change, right? So Cernovich has used the soft A, but we follow each other on Twitter, and I'm able to swallow that and look at the bigger picture and say, like, it's not, I'm not gonna let that affect me. Somebody says it on YouTube, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Will we be friends? No, we'll never fucking be friends because you just use that word and you think that shit's cool. If you're around me and you use that word and I feel like you won't call the cops, I'm probably gonna beat the shit out of you or try to.
So do you think it shouldn't be used at all by anyone? Is that where your stance is?
No,
Or
hell no. Hell no. And this is where my black ignorance kicks in. I feel like that's our word. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to most of the black comedians, they tell you that's our word. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? If you want to say it, you say it. But I would never, if there was a word for white people that was a slur,
yeah,
I would never use that word around them. So I feel like the word spick for Spanish people, I feel weird. Like I wouldn't say that around a Spanish person,
gotcha.
even if it was a joke or if it was in music. I wouldn't do that. I feel like the N word has become universal because of hip hop. Hip hop has made the word
Yeah.
universal. Now, if I'm out, right, and I see
Nope.
some kids.
You still here? I think we say it again. We got some lag on you there.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
So I'm out and I see some white kids and they're dropping an M-bomb. I laugh because I understand for them it's a culture thing. They listen to hip hop and they don't mean anything by it. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I don't take offense. I don't tell them not to say the word. I understand where they sit. And I don't think they're wrong. They're just not aware enough to know how some black people might feel about it. So their level of awareness is different, right? Now, if you're here at my house and you drop the M-bomb, at first I'm not going to beat the shit out of you, right? I'm not going to stab you, right? I'm gonna be like, yo, you gotta chill. I'm gonna be like if it was you and we were here kicking it, I'd be like, yo, you can't be saying the N-word, man. Come on, homie. It would be like that. And you'd be like, all right, no disrespect. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna say it no more. We cool. Now, if you do it again, now I gotta stab you. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's you're not gonna get ultimately mad in essence, other than you'll ask them to respect your not wanting it used around you.
Right.
But if you know that they use it around like their friends who are fine with it, that's not going to offend you. It's just you don't
No,
want it used around you.
you have to clear that with your group of friends.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that if they're friends and them all use it, black, white, brown, whatever, and they
Yeah,
all use it with each other, then it's a
that's
mutual
their
respect thing, and it's
that's
their
their
culture
business.
as a group.
Right. That's
Gotcha,
their
gotcha.
business. And I feel like now a lot of black people will say that if you allow your white friends to use the NIGGA, you're a sellout. And I kind of go, I don't agree with that. Although I agree. You see what I'm saying? This is objective thinking now.
Yeah.
Because
You don't mind if people use it. You just don't want it used around you. In essence, that's what it
right,
truly breaks down to.
right. Like
And,
you can't use it around me. But if somebody else is okay with it around them, I can understand why.
yeah, because of hip hop
Because
culture and everything else.
and you're younger than me. You know, I grew up hating white people. That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
You know, I hated white people up until maybe 5 years ago.
So then with that, let me ask you, can a black person be racist? You know how they've shifted that the benchmark for what racism is. Do you think it's actually possible?
It depends on what your definition of racism is.
So let's go with the traditional definition of racism, not adding in
What is the traditional definition of racism?
hating someone based on the skin of their color.
Then yes, they could.
Yeah. I'm
The
not
thing
talking
is,
about the subjective term that progressives use nowadays where it's like, oh, you have to have power to have racism. No. No,
well,
I have Mexican friends who hated other Latinos. And it
yeah,
was based on their race and their and nationality, which we call race.
yeah. So I would call it prejudice. I wouldn't call that racist. So there's two ways to look at that, right? So from the time you prefer your race over another race, not hate, prefer. If you prefer, like Indians prefer to date Indians, Chinese prefer to date Chinese, to me, that's racist. You're a racist. You believe in your race. So that's one definition to me. Then you have the definition of having the power over another group. Uh, you know, a white man practicing racism is a little bit more effective than a black person practicing racism, right? Because most of the time when black people, when I've dealt with racism, it's always in the workplace. It's never out in public, like at the mall or
Yeah.
anything like that. You might get followed by Chinese people, when you walk into the beauty supply shop, that type of racism. But for me, my racism has always been at the workplace.
Yeah.
And I feel like black people they don't hire enough people to be able to be racist in HR.
Yeah.
To say, I'm not going to hire you because you're brown in your LinkedIn profile pic. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's that type of racism is what I think a lot of progressives are pointing to. And in that sense, I would consider that racism because black people don't have that type of power. We don't have the power to be racist. You know, if I go down the street and I be like, honky, cracker, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't phase you. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's,
but but if you think about it, the average person like me, I don't have any power to be racist in essence because I don't have power besides what people say I have because of my skin tone, but I don't.
right,
I'm a working normal dude. Doesn't matter what skin tone I am. I don't have any power over fucking anyone
right. But
except for if I have kids.
you have white power.
Oh man,
Let
though
me
I don't.
explain. Let
Go
me
ahead.
explain. Let me explain.
I'm gonna challenge you on this, but go ahead.
No, you won't. After I explain, you won't.
Okay, let's hear it.
If me and you are saying the same exact thing, do you realize that my people will listen to you before me?
I can't. I don't know because I haven't been in the situation to know.
Okay, so I'm educating you right now. It is
Okay.
a known fact that when you're black and you put out, like the Hoteps, for example, right? The Hoteps follow Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Sebi says that all diseases derive from a buildup of mucus. Black people in the community go, he didn't go to college. College means you were co-signed by white people, right? These are white institutions. Uh, it wasn't peer reviewed. So you're saying that other white people have to co-sign this. You're not going to take this black man's word off of him just being a man. But if a white man in a lab coat comes up to a black person and says, you got to take these meds, they're going to say, okay, these meds make sense, but eating these oranges don't. Now, if we're chilling and the cops harass me, right? Let's say the
Yeah.
cops are harassing me, and you come to my aid and you come up to the cops and be like, yo, treat him right. And another black dude comes up to him and says, treat this guy right. If the cop is black or white, he's going to listen to you before he listens to that other black guy. That is white power. And it's white power because you're the majority in this country.
Okay, I can get with the majority side because it can be black power in Africa, it could be Japanese power in Japan.
Yeah.
If you're the majority, you're the majority. It is what it is. But then
Yeah.
again, it's shifting. So when the day and age comes, and this is where progressives and I would think even yourself would agree when let's say Hispanics hold the majority. Is there a
Then it's
shift
going
there?
it's then there's no more white power, it's Hispanic power.
Yeah, exactly. So you think it's you're basing it on demographic
Subconscious
numbers. Well, not
geographic numbers in the subconscious mind. When
yeah,
I
but
turn on when I turn on the TV, right?
mhm.
The protagonist is always a white male. I
uh,
when I grew up,
when you grew up, yes,
when I
maybe,
grew up,
but not
the
now.
protagonist was Zach and what's the name? Zach
Saved by the
Morris.
Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
I grew up on Punky Brewster. That's a white woman. I used to be in love with Punky Brewster. The protagonist is almost always white male. Now, why is TV now shifting towards blacks being the protagonist? Because blacks consume more TV than white people. White people got more constructive shit to do with their time. Black people just sit home and watch TV all day. That's just what we do. We consume entertainment way too fucking much. You can go look at the Nielsen reporting and it tells you that, right?
you're not.
So
That's fucking facts.
that's facts.
Really?
Nielsen reporting will show you that black women consume more TV media than white women per capita.
Damn.
Not volume, per head.
Damn.
Yes. So when you see more black movies coming out, more TV movies come out, like the whole Wakanda thing, it's because black people are spending more of their money going out to the movies. White people are investing their money. You see what I'm saying? So that protagonist thing is shifting now. But you don't see black men now on that TV. Every time they show you a black man, he's gay or a gangster.
Well, that's a pitch on the left, dude. Like everyone, like they gotta
Yes.
you gotta check all the boxes. Is
Yes.
is it a minority who's also one of the, 27 different genders? The,
Yes.
it's
So
the progressive check mark box. They want to represent everyone, and so you run into that.
so here's my thing. If every image of a black male, especially through hip hop, is of violence, psychologically in the subconscious mind, no matter who you are in America, Chinese, Indian, black, Asian, white, you already in your mind, majority of the people are seeing a gangster. When they see a white man, majority of people aren't seeing a gangster.
Maybe for the older demographics,
No,
because I think even
everyone.
at my age group and lower, because I'm 33, and I didn't grow up in a heavy race issue time. I grew up 80s, 90s, 2000s, and there was not any heavy major issues. I think because of the progressive left, we've regressed into heavy issues with the fact of viral videos and stuff like that, seeing now things that we didn't see before with cop violence, but that doesn't mean it's all cops, you know?
No, not saying all.
No, 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 I know you're not. I'm just saying that's what
Saying,
we see and that's what we get fed and that's what the media feeds to us. So that's what we assume is the fact.
and that's what I'm saying. The problem is the the media shapes minds.
Yeah.
So if the media is always shaping the mind of this is a black person, they're good at basketball, they're good at dancing, and they're thugs and they're gangsters, right? And then black people emulate that, and we perpetuate it. I'm not saying we're not at fault either, but it is a fact that being a white man, you have more power over people in America inherently than black people because of the media.
I don't know about this day in this day and age. And the
If
only
me
reason I
and
say
you,
that,
if
go
me
ahead.
and you swap positions, I'd be 10 times more famous.
What,
I could pimp my white power. I could pimp white privilege.
I don't think so in this day and age, only because of the fact that everything is you're white,
Left and
you're
right.
white. Well, not only that, but it's like you're a white male, you're white male, 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 white. It's gotten to the extreme where we flipped the role.
But if you play like Candace Owens and shut the fuck up, you could.
Well,
If you said the right things, you could
you're talking about as a black person.
as a white person.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because if you
If
look
you
at it,
played the game,
well, I would have to play it towards the left. Because if you're saying the things you actually believe, then you would have to shift to the right, and the right is massively filled with
I
with
believe I,
conservative
be,
white men.
I believe that if a white man chose liberal, he'd be more famous than a white man that's a conservative. Absolutely. But what I'm
Yeah, and
saying is, as a white male, I wouldn't let anybody know where I stand on the political spectrum.
well, and that's why I like being center because I can be where the fuck I want. I can float, and I
I,
have different views.
I,
It's independence.
I did this experiment on LinkedIn once. I changed my picture to a white guy. You know, I got hit up like crazy. When I switched it back to being a black guy, I didn't get hit up.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just find that hard to like believe in this day and age with the
You think
mindset
so? You
with
think so?
with
It
how much.
exists.
Yeah,
It exists.
it probably does, but with
And it
how much they
exists.
want diversity these day and age, like they're
They want
pushing
they
diversity.
but they want a certain type of diversity. If you're a black male, you have to be gay or you have to be Carlton. I'm not the Carlton type. I got dreadlocks. You
Right?
know what I'm saying? That's different. Now, if my dreadlocks were rainbow colored, that'd be acceptable. Also, with the diversity, they're giving it to the black woman and not the black man.
Yeah, you do see that a lot of that.
This is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that males as a whole aren't under attack. Hell yeah, they are. They're trying to kill masculinity. You see,
Yeah.
they got illimitable man out of here. You know, they suspended his account. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if I was white, boy.
I don't know, man. I honestly, I do think this, and the reason I say this is as a conservative black man,
Yeah.
you're a unicorn, and I'm not being an asshole. Like it's just
Yeah.
not. Look at how much Kanye blew up for saying I like Trump, and
Yeah.
how viral his shit went, even though he is Kanye West. But how many minds he just blew, and how many people. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, all publication, positive
Yeah.
press or negative press is good press.
Yeah. Now here's my thing. Because I'm a unicorn, I can use that to my advantage.
Oh,
Right?
exactly.
Absolutely. I'll never deny that. That's why Candace Owens works so well. But Candace Owens is also at the mercy of the conservatives. The minute they don't like her, guess what? She is irrelevant.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
If
Well, I think
Candace
that's anyone though.
if Candace Owens took a stance against Israel, she'd disappear overnight. Overnight, she would disappear. Overnight. Gone. Like we've never even heard from her again. Right? Now, what I'm saying is, as a white male, I wouldn't be trying to be some online personality on YouTube. No, I'd fucking be in corporate America running shit.
Yeah.
That's where I'd be. As a black male with dreadlocks, I can't do that as easily, because when I walk in the doors, everybody's intimidated. First, from my look. Secondly, from my deep voice. Third, because I'm not fucking Carlton. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and when I look at all my jobs, I'd be there and they'd be like, we have to let you go. I'd be like, why? Because, well, you were in a meeting with Sarah and Sarah felt intimidated. Just like, she felt intimidated? All I did was criticize her. You know what I'm saying? And that's my job. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but I think that's even that stuff's shifting beyond race. It's shifting to just
now,
the sex of the person. Like you
now,
mansplaining. Like what the fuck's mansplaining? Sorry that
yeah,
you sound like a dumbass and I'm having to reiterate what I was saying. If you understand me, nod your fucking head and act like you understand me. Don't make me further repeat myself.
right. But the thing is, these corporations are run by liberals.
A lot of them are. I think
A lot of them.
there's some conservative stuff out there that
Some,
does really well.
but there's majority of them are liberals,
Yeah.
right? So when I walk into these places and they can't treat me like the black pet, like what liberals like to do. They're like, oh, we got to get rid of this guy. He doesn't fit here. So
Well,
like, I built computers when I was in high school. When I go work at a job, they're like, well, this is a mouse, and do you know how to use Control C to copy? And I'm like, yo, like, I know how to build a computer. Like, stop treating me like a dummy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I was white, that wouldn't happen with a lot
oh
of
no
these
no no no!
corporations.
I'll tell you this, man. It happens. I mean maybe less these days when it comes to where humans tend to be more tech savvy. But even when
Yeah,
I first started out, it's like, do you understand how to use a computer? How about Excel? Do you need me to
yeah,
show you Excel? It's like, no, motherfucker, I took those classes. Unlike you, I didn't learn it fucking 40 years into life. I grew up with it. Like, I don't need you to explain it to me.
yeah,
And I think it's just I think it's in the way you perceive it. If
yeah.
it happens based on whoever you are. Maybe they
Oh
just look
yeah,
at you as a general person. And they're like, oh, you're younger, or
yeah.
you carry yourself in this
But
way.
everywhere I go, here's why conservatives don't connect with black people. I'm gonna tell you why. Conservatives don't listen. Here I am, a black man, trying to tell you my experience in America. And when it comes to racism, y'all like to deny it and deny it. When it's real as fuck for me. So when you say, oh, we should uncuck the blacks and bring them over to the right, that also comes with having to listen and not arguing. If they say it's racism, you need to ask them to explain, well, how is it racism, and try to understand it as opposed to debate it. I find that a lot of conservatives want to say, oh, I'm white in America and I deal with the same problems as you. And it's like, y'all ain't gonna uncut blacks like that. I'm telling you right now. because we deal with racism and it's very real.
Do you, and I'm going to ask because I don't want it to shift or feel like I'm challenging that,
No,
but wouldn't it be it's in your worldview, you deal with it. But to say that it doesn't happen in my worldview is challenging my real reality versus, because you, like you were just saying, I don't know your reality or black people's reality, but
right.
you don't know my reality. And there's an assumption made because of my skin tone, just as if I were to make an assumption about yours based on your skin tone, it'd be racist. But if people make assumptions of my reality based on my skin tone, it's just, oh, you're just white. That's
Oh,
what I'm meaning.
absolutely.
That's what I mean. I'm
Absolutely.
not meaning
I'm not
that.
saying I'm not saying that you and I don't share the same experiences just from being men, period. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when it comes to the white liberal, I am their pet.
Oh,
You,
definitely. That's the way the liberals see it.
this is what I'm saying. The liberal doesn't see eye to eye with us. You, they see eye to eye as an enemy.
Yeah,
Me,
yeah.
they see a pet. Those are two completely different dynamics. And what I am saying is when I deal with racism in America, when it's with the white liberal, it is
Mm-hmm.
a different experience than when they deal with you as a white man.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't argue that at all
And that's
because
what I'm saying.
because it's just, you see it. You don't have
Right.
to, what I mean, I thought you were talking about just general race relations, not throwing in the political spin of it. But
No,
I thought that's what you were saying. But
no.
I can agree. I mean, it's the same with Hispanics. Okay, look, I live in California, and why California wants so many undocumented or illegal immigrants is because they want the Democratic vote, because
Right,
they'll give them free shit and be like,
right.
well, who's doing this for you? The Democrats.
Correct.
And so it's their way of keeping themselves in power, because if they didn't use that or push that narrative to anyone and let people just land on their feet and work as hard as they can for themselves, then they may end up as conservatives. They may end up as
Absolutely.
Republicans.
Right.
Because if you've worked your ass off in life, and you say that, I'm willing to wager that anyone who has worked from, start of their life, started off rough, no matter their skin, and worked their ass off, are making some money and, progressing in life, are going to be leaning towards the more conservative side because, one, they don't want the government fucking with their money.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. You know, and that's why I'm conservative, because when it comes to this race topic, a lot of black people use it as a crutch. And me and my crew are not using it as a crutch. We're saying, okay, racism exists, but not how y'all making it seem.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if it is like you make it seem, what are you going to do about it? Because the way you're going about it is not going to solve the problem. For
No,
me,
because they're, like you said, they treat you as like a pet project.
right.
Yeah.
So for me, the solution is so the progressive solution is uh what's it called? Affirmative action, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's supposed to be like a quick fix, which actually doesn't fix anything, just pisses people off. Um the real solution is long term, and that's we need to build black corporations to hire black people. Problem solved. You know what I'm saying? You go to Chinatown, you got Chinese people, they hire Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Indians, they hire Indians. When you got a guy that comes fresh off the boat from here from India, he's got a job immediately at some gas station or some deli. And then he can grow and bubble from here. He's got roommates that he can live with. With black people, we don't got that. We're almost competing with each other to be the token black guy. So people to try to pit me and Candace Owens against each other, and make us fight for that one position. You know what I'm saying? You're about to say something.
Oh, I looked over at my chat, and one of my regulars was like, "Oh, apologize if I was being bothered." He had apparently he thought you were being mean to that girl and being an asshole in your viral video, and he said some very not nice things, and he apologized because after the fact when you went on Fox and explained the joke behind it. Because at first I was like, dude, is this guy serious? And he was apparently the same way. And he's like, dude, I feel like such an asshole.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, he's
nah,
a really chill, nice guy. Like, and it was a joke. Like, I thought he was just being an asshole to that girl.
nah. Amanda was awesome, man. She was great. No, I don't. I'm not.
Half black, half white kid. He gets, dude, this kid gets some bad shit. People are just fucking evil because he's conservative too. They're just evil to him. Like a lot of the liberals will call him mutant and mixed blood and fucking crazy evil shit to him because he leans conservative.
Yeah, yeah. Conservatives, the new nigga. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I wanted to ask because someone asked earlier, one of my mods, he's like, what do you think about the Kendrick situation where if you're asking someone to sing your song and you're not bleeping it, do you think he was in the right for calling her out, or it's hip hop? You
So
know,
here's
that's
the so I spoke to somebody about this in the past, and I told him that the way he went about it was wrong. Um, what he should have done was, or I'm not gonna say what he should have done. What I'm gonna say is what I would have done.
okay.
What I would have done was, first of all, I would have found it hilarious, right? Because sitting in my living room saying the N word is different from repeating the lyrics in my song,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's two completely different things. Like I wrote that. So if you say it, then I can't be too mad, right? Now, but I also believe that it's off limits for white people to say. Now, how do I handle it? First of all, I let her finish out her whole segment, right? Then at the end, I go, yo, Susie, I loved your performance. It was great. But you know what? Shouldn't have dropped the M bomb. And I would have educated her and I would have educated the crowd on why black people feel like white people shouldn't be able to say the word. Whether you agree with that or not, whether you should be able to say it or not is a whole nother topic. But
Yeah.
if I'm in that role, I'm educating her on why people would find offense to that and why she can't do it again, as opposed to embarrassing her.
So then okay, so when you're when you write a song and you know it's picked up by the masses, and if you know it has that word 3 times, 4 times in that song, and you happen to bring up a white fan, would you not pick that song maybe if you don't want it said? Because I mean, I'll be honest, I've mirrored lyrics, I've read books, like because I mean the words used in historical documents and other things. I I don't say it out of pleasure. I say it
Yeah.
because it's there on the page.
Yeah, it would have been. I would have handled. I used to perform, so I think I would have handled that situation a little bit serious. It would have just been like I would have let him finish out, but I'd be like, "Yo, Todd, you're not allowed to say, man, nigga, man, get off my stage." But I'd have said it jokingly and not. I think that the energy in which she was corrected was more like disappointment as opposed to joking. But like, you kind of should know that now. You can't say that shit publicly. You know what I'm saying? If you do, you better do that shit around some of these other blacks, you know?
Well, and one of my mods who I was talking about earlier, he said then don't use it in a song, and I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But then again, I can understand why they might want to use it. But if your
You
music's
could
going to go out to the masses, you're
you
going to
could do
pick up
whatever
some white people, right?
you could do whatever you want. The thing is you have to know whatever you do in this world is gonna come with consequences. You know you can buy a MAGA hat. Should you wear a MAGA hat in Harlem? Probably not. You would get your ass whooped. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So
It's you got to know you can do whatever you want in this world. Just know that if you offend, it's like talking about Jews.
yeah,
It's the same exact thing. Where if you say something about Jews, you're automatically labeled anti-Semitic. If you say the word nigga, you're automatically labeled racist. So guess what? Maybe you shouldn't talk about Jews, and maybe you shouldn't use the word nigga, because those things come with consequences. And
yeah.
if
But
you don't like the
then
consequences, or you're not afraid of the consequences, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, but then you're also leaving out the context. If you're just basing it on, the word Jew or using the term and talking about Jewish people
There is
and
no
dropping
context.
the N-bomb.
There
Hold on,
is
what do you
no
mean?
context. If I get up here right now when I say Jews run Hollywood, nobody cares about context. There's going to go anti-Semite. There's no
Well, no,
room for context.
well,
Same thing
that
with the
in
word
this day
nigga.
and age, in this day
There,
and age, yeah.
there's no room for context when a white person uses the word nigga. There's no room for context. Period.
So are you saying that there should be context used, or you're just saying that it just happens to be this way now?
What I'm saying is
You don't care? Are you? Well, let's put it this way: are you
it's
saying you don't care about the context, or you're saying that others and people won't care about the
it's
context?
it's subjective.
Yeah, yeah,
It's subjective. It's where you are at the time. Who are you with? You know, are you willing to take that risk? Because I got some homies right now that if you said it on this podcast to me, they'll find you. That's how they feel about this word. You know what I'm saying? That's just how people feel.
yeah.
So whether you want to acknowledge that or not is on you. If you can deal with those consequences. If you want to go out here and you want to attack Jews and be labeled anti-Semite, just be ready for the consequences that come with that.
Yeah.
Understand that the conservatives ain't gonna fuck with you no more.
Well, yeah. But what I was meaning is, and this is a question. I'm not trying to debate it. I'm just curious. Is obviously if you're attacking Jews, there's you're attacking them, correct? That's the context is if you're using it to say, derogatory things. But if you're singing a song or you're reading
Jay Z said,
lyrics,
Jay Z said, you want me to tell you how the Jews did it? Financial freedom, my only hope. And they labeled him an anti-Semite, and he wasn't attacking Jews.
yeah, that's true.
It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Context doesn't matter with certain shit. It's just how people feel. It's the MAGA hat. Like black people see a MAGA hat and it's like a bull seeing red. Attack. And I don't agree with that shit. But I also know if I was white, I probably wouldn't wear that shit in certain areas. I know that if I wear it online, I could become a target. I'm black and I'm scared to wear the hat.
Yeah. What do you feel about Hispanics and Asians using the N word?
Oh, that's off limits too. I'm running in your mouth. You getting stabbed.
Okay, as long as you're on that stance, dude. Because if you would have said, "Oh, it's fine," I'd have been like, "Dude, are you sure you're
No,
not a liberal, bruh?"
no, no, hell no, man. I've checked. I had an interview with a dude who was Cuban on YouTube. He was a Cuban dude. He dropped the M bomb this is a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, yo, don't say that shit around me, yo, on this podcast. I'm not that's not cool. And he was like, but I'm Cuban. I'm like, I don't care if you Cuban or not. That shit's white to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say that shit. I feel like that Chinese, whatever. If you ain't black, don't say that shit, yo.
Okay, at least there's that level. I was gonna be like, dude, you're you're really disappointing me, man.
Yo, Hispanic people think they could say it. And I'll be looking at them like, nah, bruh, you can't say that, yo.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're cross border, and it's not just white people, because there are people
Nah,
who have that view too, is just white people,
nah.
because of the his. Go
I
ahead.
might feel worse if a Chinese person said it. I'm more liable to hit a Chinese person for saying it, or I'm more liable to hit an Indian in the face before a white person. You know what I'm saying? Because the Indians probably definitely saying that shit as a pejorative. They try to attack me. A white person is usually saying it because it's just like culture. You know what I'm saying? It's
Slang.
American
Yeah,
culture.
yeah.
It's slang. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's like homie, or I mean, it's obviously
Yeah.
context. If you're saying it with your buddies,
Yeah.
then the context is it's your friends. You're not dropping and that's where like using an A versus an R,
Yeah.
the historical ramifications of the heart are, you know, and everything like that. But I was just curious because I have some friends who won't use it at all themselves either because
Right.
they don't want to give it any weight at all. And then, you know, and it's
Yeah.
just one of those things where some people will be like, well, I don't really like white people saying it, but you know, Hispanics, whatever. I'm like, really?
Yeah, nah, not me. Fuck that. I'm at the gas station, and you know the Indians try to get friendly. Hey, my doggy, my nigga, man. Yo, one of them one time he's like, my nigga. I'm like, yo, you can't say that in America, bruh. He's like, you're not my nigga, my nigga. He doesn't even know that he's doing something wrong. He's just hearing it on the radio and thinking like this is American culture,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I wasn't mad at him. I'm laughing my ass off, but I'm also trying to educate him like, bro, you gotta chill out.
Right.
It's like that, yo. But nah, I'm equal opportunity ass whooping.
Yeah. Someone in the chat's asking a word. I'll tell you the definition and I'll see if you know it because I don't want to be
Abi,
uh I don't want to be an asshole or say anything that would be offensive.
yeah.
You know the word how what they've used for stingy, not generous. You know, there's a word that gets thrown around and people actually have started to bring it back.
What's that?
I'm gonna post it in here because I out of respect I don't want to say it.
Say that shit. I mean, you could say it.
Dog. It gets
But, oh, niggardly. They're using that?
oh, it's swinging back, dude.
What? It's
Because
just like saying nigger.
no, because it's an actual old English term for freaking ungenerous or stingy or scanty or meager. People are using that because they want to get a rise out of people or a troll because
Oh nah.
people mistake it for the
Nah,
other word.
that's worse than saying Nigga.
You really
Nah.
think so? Even though it's not aimed at black people at all. It's not.
Fuck that.
It's a word,
Stab you in the neck, watch you bleed out.
but not. I'm not saying if okay. So if someone's using it in a sentence,
Stab you in the neck, watch you bleed out.
why? Why? If there's no, oh, and the reason I ask is because there's no negative connotation to it. It's been around since before slavery. It's been old English term.
This is my antiquated black ignorance kicking in. I don't give a fuck. I'm stabbing you in the neck and I'm gonna watch you bleed out.
Yeah.
That's and I'm able to admit this is my ignorance kicking in. I have black ignorance that's built in me through hip hop, through being a traditional Hotep, through at one point hating white people. I haven't let go of some of that stuff yet. So if you come around me, you say niggardly, and I say, yo, don't say that shit, and you try to explain that shit, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it, and you say it again, I'm watching you bleed out. Because now you disrespect. I told you not to say it.
Even though because you don't know the word, you're making an assumption that it's a negative word.
You just educated me on what the word meant.
Yeah. I'm talking
Right.
about like, yeah,
So
you wouldn't do it if someone says it in the future and they're not saying you are, or they're not dropping it in that way, but they're using it in context or a sentence.
if
I
I
mean,
don't
someone
care,
could call me that.
I don't care if they how they using it, right?
Yeah.
If they use that and then they explain to me the definition of what they're saying, and I say to them, I don't give a fuck. Don't say that shit. You say that shit again, I'm gonna stab you in your neck. And they say that shit again, obviously they brave enough to get stabbed in the neck. That's my cognitive dissonance taking over. This is my ignorance, my black ignorance. It says I will fuck you up.
So what if the role is reversed and a white person asks you not to do something and you do it again? Do they have the right to do the same?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Whoop
So
my
you
ass, stab me in the neck, watch me bleed out. This is how humans operate. But I'm a respectful person. If I'm around
yeah.
somebody and they say, yo, I don't like that, whatever, I'm going to assess the situation and I'm going to say, okay, my bad. I won't do it again because you find offense to that. Women, there's
Yeah.
certain terms you can't use around women that you have to adjust to. So a woman might say, yo, don't use certain vernacular, or some women might say, I don't like profanity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to keep using profanity just because that's who I am. I'm saying, oh, my bad. Let me watch my language and then try to curb that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's respect for other people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's well, and it's in how you respond,
Right. Right.
and it's how the person responds to your requests, and it's just
Yeah.
that mentality.
Yeah. And I mean, it also comes down to the fact that do I think you could whoop my ass and do I think I can whoop your ass?
Yeah.
Because if you're a 6'5", 250 white dude and you use the word niggardly, I'm gonna be like, ha ha, okay, cool, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta pick and choose your battles. You know what
All
I'm
right.
saying?
Oh
But at the
shit.
same
So I
time,
might be able to get away with using it around you, dude. I ain't six
yeah,
five, but I'm pretty damn close.
yeah, you might be able to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? You just might have to watch your back because I might wait till your back turned and put the knife in the back of your
Oh, come
spine.
on. That's even more pussy shit than the person dropping the in with the soft A, that's more pussy shit than that. If you stab someone in the
Hey,
back, man, come
hey, look, if you bigger than me, ain't no rules.
on. Carry a big stick, pick up a big stick,
Yeah,
whatever.
picking a big stick, whatever it is. We got to even this fight up, yo.
Right.
But if you're in
No,
my
man,
weight
that's what
class, we'll knuckle
that's
up.
it's street rules, man. Like honestly, I love when people are like, well, he grabbed someone off the ground and beat his ass with this. Like, yeah, because is this a boxing match or MMA? What the fuck's going on?
Right. It's the streets, too.
I'm gonna protect myself the best of my ability. I mean, don't bring no
Right.
guns up into the shit.
Yeah.
That's really pussy shit. But if you're gonna fight,
Yeah.
and whatever is round's fair game.
Yeah. Now, let me just explain something. When I say stab you in the neck, watch you bleed out, right?
Yeah.
And I say, I will fight you. Let's just make one thing clear. Hotep Jesus is not a violent person. The chances of me actually doing these things is like slim to none.
Well, what you're
I'm
doing is
like,
it's your dark humor, man.
yes,
I
thank you.
get that, and
Yeah, this
anyone
is
else
my
who doesn't in the audience, it's dark humor. Like it's dark
yeah,
humor. Okay,
yeah.
I get that. That's
I'm
why
just
I'm not frustrated because I don't think you're really. If I accidentally drop the N word,
yeah,
now you're not going to find my house and stab me in the throat.
yeah. No, I don't got time for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm way more civilized than that. I'm just what I'm trying to do is paint a picture of my emotions and how I feel. In my mind, I'm
Yeah.
stabbing you in the neck, but would I actually do that? No.
No, because I mean, you can feel however you feel. You may want to break someone's face because I
Yeah,
felt that way, but
you don't actually do it.
no. Do I want to go to jail?
Right.
I got
Exactly.
shit to live for, dude.
Yeah. So again, that's just my dark humor, man. I just wanted
No.
to make that clear before somebody takes this clip and see, oh, Hotep Jesus wants to stab somebody.
Yeah, dude. If it makes me go viral, they're like that white guy who was asking him questions. He wants to stab him in the throat. It's like
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Cool. Go for it. Right. I just
Yeah,
wanted to clear that up.
spread that shit. It's good. It's good publicity for me.
Absolutely.
As long as you don't actually stab me in the neck,
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
No, but so and that was all questions from the audience, and so um, I don't know. I kind of think there's a little, and that's your own personal view, obviously. And if it was around you and I was singing a song and it came up, now knowing that, I would respect you and not drop it. But if I'm in near someone else, I mean, it's in the
Yeah.
perspective. And if the person says, why are you saying that or whatever, I might, be like, oh, whatever. But
Yeah.
um, I look at it from the perspective of like, you're free to say whatever the hell you want. You just have
Yes.
to be able to live with whatever the outcome is. And
Bingo.
I know that I'm going to piss people off on the left. I'm going to piss people off on the right because I mean, I don't bounce and jump into all their, bullshit. I could care less. But out of everything and besides, the marketing and the, political conversations and stuff that you do. What else are you doing in your free time? Like, what do you do for fun?
Uh, I play chess.
Okay.
Um,
You do some gaming,
fun,
video
fun.
gaming?
Oh, gaming. Yeah, yeah. You know,
Okay.
I'm on the Fortnite. My son is better than me. Like, he's 8, and he makes me look like I suck at Fortnite.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay,
I turned. You
you
said
talk.
what?
I thought you were in your 40s the way you were talking about your age and shit.
Oh, okay. Nah, I turned 38 in October.
Okay,
Um,
so you're not that much older than me.
nah, we're like the same age,
Yeah,
same demographic. Yeah. Um, but I'm just saying, like when I grew up with white people called me nigga, and I had to fight. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well,
So
and you would. I mean, and it's also in the area that you grew up in, like out California. I mean, I grew up in California,
okay,
so I mean, my
yeah,
parents weren't raising me to dislike anyone based on anything as stupid as their skin color. So
right.
I don't know where you grew up, so your
I
reality and
grew up.
your world is different than mine.
Yeah, I'm in Jersey, so back in my day, it was like a lot of Italians,
Gotcha.
and you know how that story goes. Libra.
Someone wants to know if you're a Libra or Scorpio. Libra. Yeah, I'm actually I'm on the edge. I'm September 22nd, so I float between early September and Libra.
Yeah, you definitely got that Scorpio.
The so you do some gaming. Your son is better than you, which is
Yeah,
surprising because you grew up with video games too, man.
yo, you know what it is? He spends more time on the game than I
Yeah.
do, obviously.
Yeah.
And you know, but he's so good at the game now. You know what is, all right, so here's the thing. Like back in my day, the internet blew up. So like when you wanted cheat codes and tips and tricks, like when you played Tekken, right? When we played Tekken, you'd go look up the 10 hit combos online, you'd learn the
Yeah.
10 hit combos, and you'd have the muscle memory for it. Um, what I did was I showed him, I said, if you go on YouTube, type in Fortnite tips and tricks, and then, sort by date, you can see the most recent stuff. So I'm teaching him how to find information.
Yeah.
So he's finding the information on his own. So he knows what gun is better to have, when,
Nice.
it's better to have shields than to have bandages, these different things, how to build. He's playing on Builder Pro. So,
Oh,
and
nice.
he has a muscle memory, but he's 8 and I've never won a game on Fortnite and he has like 20 wins. And it's just
Nice.
like, you know how hard it is to win on Fortnite.
Yeah. Uh I've won maybe one or two, but I'm not a big fan of the free for all stuff. I like more team based stuff, like interacting with the team. Even their team modes. I just
It's hard.
eh. I'd rather
Yeah.
play like something a little more realistic.
Oh, me
Um,
too.
so someone's saying, imagine a white kid growing up in Ashbury Park. What's that?
Asbury Park, he probably got his ass whooped by black people every day. And depending on what part.
28th, he said. Oh no, is that your birthday? Sorry. What part of Ashbury Park?
Yeah,
Is
depends on
that
what
is
part
that
of.
is that Jersey or
Yeah, that's Jersey. That's close to the shore. Asbury Park is a great place to go if you have a rock band. Live Nation owns most of the venues down there, so if you're a rock band, you get booked. This has a real big rock band scene. Um, but depending on where you live in Asbury or Asbury Park, if you go to school with some niggas, they will fuck some white people up. I don't know about now, but back in the day, you know what I'm saying? There was definitely like racial clashes.
yeah?
I don't know what it's like now. But Asbury has a big black population that's like kind of hood. I think
Gotcha.
a lot of places in Jersey have that. You have, your black part of the city, and then you have your white part of the city. It's like that a lot out here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not that much like that anymore these day and age, but you had areas that were more predominantly black in California too. But
Hmm.
I mean, well, when you get into the big cities, like I grew up
Yeah,
in some pretty rural areas, and we had a pretty big black populace, and it was scattered. There isn't like this side of town is that. I mean, because it's not urban, and so there's not any like everyone's. I mean, the rich people are doing their houses are bigger, their houses are a lot more square footage, but I
Yeah.
mean, you could have a rich neighborhood like and one block over an average neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
It's like that in Jersey too. Um,
So we
yeah,
weren't as segregated, I guess you would say. So I grew up. I mean, I also went to a school that had, a very high populace of black people. So I mean, I grew up around a bunch of different races: black, Mexican. We didn't have much in the way of Asian people, a few, but it was more, black, white, and Mexican
yeah.
because it was ag country, dude. You know.
Okay.
So I mean, I grew up around a bunch of different demographics, and so like, and also the way my parents raised me, I didn't really you could be. I judge the person on the person. If you're a fucking prick, you're a prick, and that's
Right.
all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Like I know some pretty shitty white people. I know some pretty shitty black people, Mexican, fucking everyone. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just bad people. Doesn't matter what their fucking group identity is.
Right. Right.
If you're a bad person, you're a bad person nonetheless.
Yeah. We gotta judge people based upon their character.
Yeah. Unless and that's why I think I lean to the right is because it's more about individual. And you go further right, it's more about the group, but center right, it's a little more individual based
Yeah.
than the mentality of like, oh, my group identity that you see on the far right and the far left.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I just care about the individual. I could care less about anything else. And I think that's
I'm
where
the
we
same.
need to shift. It's where humans need to shift, man. This whole fucking fight of what's good, what's bad.
Yeah. I'm the same, man. That's where I sit. I deal with people on a case to case basis. Because it's a lot of black people I can't get along with.
Yeah, and there's a ton of white people I can't get along with because, fuck, dude. They're
Yeah.
just honestly, I don't want to hear about how amazing you are and how much you give away to the to
You
to
know.
the minorities and how much you care about minorities. It's like, dude, just care about your
Yeah.
fucking self, worry about yourself and work your ass off.
Virtue signaling.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's
Yeah.
the state. It's the shift. We're
Yeah.
shifting back to our parents' reality. And
Yeah.
that's fucking sad, dude, because
Yeah.
people in that demographic work so hard to get away from this kind of shit, and
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean,
That's
even look at it. And I even slipped into this trap. Like, and I asked the question because I understand it's got to be hard because people probably on both sides are giving you shit, but uh, you're a conservative, and that's all that matters. Like, I
yeah.
shouldn't see you as a black conservative, but I see you in realist because I know that it's got to be a lot rougher because you're probably getting shit from black people too.
Oh yeah.
Do you get a lot of shit from black and white people now that you're outed as a black conservative?
Yeah. More black people, less white people.
Really?
Yeah. Um. Obviously, Jack won't verify me. Um. So that's like the extent of my white problems. Um. um. Black people, call me coon, sell out. Mostly coon. I get mostly coon. I usually get alt white,
Oh God.
alt right white supremacist. I'm a pawn for white supremacists. I'm a Trump supporter. What's the big one now? Oh, I want to replace the white man at the top of the patriarchy structure. That's
What?
the yeah, that's the one that the black feminists push. That I'm aligning with white people because I want to replace the white man at the top of the power structure. And I'm like, I don't even think like that. Like I'm, I'm saying? Like, it's like
They
it's
come up
like
with some crazy ass shit, man.
my thing is this. It's like the fact that they put the white man at the top of the power structure, and meanwhile it's not accurate. It's just like, huh? Like, Saudi Arabia got a lot of bread, yo. Like,
Yeah.
if I was to replace anybody, I might want to replace a sheik. Like,
Yeah, yeah, become a prince over there, which honestly, it'd be nice to have some of that oil money, man.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I wanted to replace somebody, I'd probably wanted to replace a sheik and be a prince or something like that. Like the white man is not like I feel like they try to like push the white man into this, Wizard of Oz seat, like he's just like
Behind the curtain.
yeah, like he's running the show and shit. And I'm just like, now it's a lot of other cultures out here that out earn white men in America. Like single Nigerian men out earn white men in America. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are they trying to replace white men, or are they just coming here minding their business and taking advantage of capitalism? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, but yeah, black people attack me all the time. I
Have you
I
gotten hit
attack.
by Tariq Nasheed yet?
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. I I provoke, I poke and jest Tariq Nasheed. I like making fun of him. So when he
I mean,
interacts with, huh?
I said, let me guess. I was gonna say, let me guess. He said, do you, brother, get your money. I know it's all a sham. You're just trying to take these white people's money.
Yeah,
Has he said
yeah,
that to you yet?
yeah, yeah.
That's
He
his
said that to
biggest
me.
argument.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. And I'm like, in a way, he's right. I can't lie, because that's what Candace Owens is doing. She's using the unicorn position, like you would call it.
Yeah, but she's not. She still believes, or I mean, I think she believes in these things. And that's
That's
why I
the
asked you.
thing.
You believe in these things?
And that's the thing. He's challenging my authenticity.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And that's what he does.
And so I'm like, you're halfway right, but I'm really authentic in the way I fucking feel. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not saying this shit. You know what happened, yo? A switch went off. I got stronger in my philosophy, and it attracted white people. It wasn't like I wanted to attract white people, so I changed my philosophy. It was the exact opposite. And I was like, oh, wait, white people like this shit? Oh, like, you agree with me? Like, oh, there's white people out there that are decent? Oh, shit, they're called conservatives? Who are you guys? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right.
So it's like I found a new friend. I found somebody I could talk to and I could relate to, that
Yeah,
I felt like understood me, because I felt like white liberals didn't understand me, and I felt like black people didn't understand me. And it's really a lonely place when your own people don't understand you, when your own people attack you for your views. So for a while I was alone, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then when I found out about this whole conservative thing, I'm like, I don't agree with a lot of shit they do, but we agree on enough where we could be homies.
yeah, yeah,
Just saying. So it's authentic for me, because when we talk about Hillary Clinton and the shit she got away with, and they're trying to pin a porn star on Trump, I'm like, this ain't even me trying to like pander. This is like, y'all don't see the jokes. You don't see the jig. Like, you don't
yeah,
see this. Like, for 60 Minutes, one of their top 3 highest rated shows with the porn star.
yeah. Well, and you know what's freaking hilarious about that broad is she's popping up on ads all over the place.
She's
In
getting
this
endorsement deals.
she's got endorsement from freaking like I was on I don't know what I was searching, but it was probably one of those clickbait articles, and so I was reading through it and clicking through tabs, and it popped up. She's promoting Campster. It's
Wow.
some like cam girl thing, but Stormy Daniels is promoting
I
Campster.
know Camster. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's
That's that
doing
cam girl
advertising for
shit.
them. Yeah, like where
Wow.
you donate to them. It's kind of like super chats.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what the Snapchat that's what Snapchat girls do. The
yeah, yeah,
IG
yeah.
guys, they do, like I was following this girl on Snapchat. And then she was like, follow me on Camster. So I'm like, okay, let's go to Camster. And I'm like, oh, what is this? I'm like, oh, you get naked? Oh, wow, you pop it open for bills? Yeah, I just thought,
To everyone, dude. It's not even like you have to like honestly, you know how much there's like 1,000 people in a room. watching this, and like 5 people are making them their money, and the rest of the guys are just sitting there doing their thing.
Okay.
Because from what I've looked, because I clicked into it because I was like, why the
Yeah.
fuck is she promoting this? And so
Yeah.
I dug into it. I watch porn. I'm a dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like full traditional live streaming that you can see everything,
Yeah.
whether you pay or not. They're just working for tips.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like going to the strip club and not having to pay an entry fee.
You know what? I'll tell you a story. I knew about this shit before it was a campster.
Gotcha.
I had a girl I was friends with, and she basically, was telling me, like, yo, you know what I used to do? And I'm like, what? She was like, yo, I used to like strip on cam. I'm like, what do you mean strip on cam? She was like, like stick shit in my vagina and get naked. So I was like, word? It's like, how was that? She was like, I was making a lot of money. So I was like, why'd you stop? She was like, one day somebody asked me to put something weird up my ass, and I was ready to. She's like, I was ready to do it, and she's like, that's when I realized, okay, now I'm going too far, because it's like, where does this end? You know what I'm saying? Like how much am I willing to do for bills? And then she told me about this dude who was running the operation, and this is going to segue into another story. But his operation basically was, he'd set up a house, he'd put lights in like 4 different rooms, and he'd get girls to come in, and he'd take a commission.
Yeah.
So in 2002, 2000, I want to say 2004, 2003, I had this dude hit me up and asked me to build him a porn site. I didn't know how to do this shit, so I contracted it out to this Russian dude. And we built him a porn site. Then after that, he asked me to recruit girls for his cam thing. This is 2003. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right when it started, like
Right
when
when it,
camming started getting big.
yeah, when the camera was all grainy and shit. So I know about the industry. I'm very familiar. I was almost in that industry.
Thank God, man. That's just funny to me, dude. Like that, like you go back into that day and age, and it's just like, dude, like they were doing this out of like people's houses, and then
Yeah,
it would be like there's an overhead pimp who provides the cameras and everything else, and the girls, take all their tips and money and
yeah,
give a chunk to the pimp.
right. It's digital pimping.
Exactly.
Digital pimping.
But now, like Camster, I don't understand. I don't know how it works. I would assume it's kind of probably like YouTube,
Right, the same
and,
shit.
and
Yeah,
yeah, and super chats. So they
yeah,
probably take their 10-20% chunk, and then the
yeah.
rest just goes to the cam girls.
Right, right.
240p, try like 120, man. It was probably like 120 back in that time when it was all grainy.
He said 240p. You nasty dude. It's funny because I'm in group chat with the homies. So I got this one friend. He follows all the hot chicks on IG. So he just posts the girl snaps. So you go, all right, let me go follow her, and you follow her, and it's like I want to say every 3 is a cam girl.
Right.
So like
Right.
30% of the time you're gonna run into a cam girl, and you don't know it. You're like, oh, she's on the beach and Bermuda. Oh, she's hot. Then it's like she comes back. She's like, yo, follow me on Camster. And it's just like, yo, you sell your pussy too?
I mean, you can't knock the hustle, but
No,
it's
you
one of
can't.
those things where it's even dating sites, dude. If you're on, like, if you ever check out dating sites and stuff, you can fucking spot the bots that are just trying to pitch, hey, go check out my webcam service. It's
Oh
like, really?
yeah, 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 hell yeah,
Like, I remember that when I was younger, man. Like when 2004, 2005, it was fucking fake ass accounts, probably run by some random ass dude, and would send you a link. Go
yeah,
go go check me out live here. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to talk to real women
yeah.
and not robots.
You have to click on the link, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Why is that?
They're really smart. The funnel that these porn accounts use is actually the same funnel that startups use to acquire users for video game apps.
Really?
Yeah, you get them to opt in. Whenever I see one of those accounts, I always click and I say, well, how do they onboard people? There's this thing called
Yeah.
an onboarding process. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I'm in marketing too. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're
yeah.
familiar with the onboarding process. So I always
Yeah.
try to see, like, well, how are they onboarding people? And I'm like, okay, so this one is they don't really care about onboarding people. They just want you to fill out the survey because they know that you get paid off the survey. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's a pretty smart way to get people to opt in, get
Mm-hmm.
information. You're getting information without even onboarding the user. You know what I'm
Well, yeah, and
saying?
that's like the giveaways or a lot of places are doing it now with the mobile apps when they have pay to play, they'll do
Yeah,
uh they'll do the thing where it's like, oh, you want free gold for this? Go fill out this survey, or go
right.
fill out this, or get a quote on auto insurance. I've
Yeah,
fucking scammed the fuck out of some of those for some lots of fucking coins and some video games on my phone because honestly, 5 minute call and you're gonna give me what equates to about $30 in game. I'll
yeah.
take
I'll
5 minutes
take
out of my time if I actually dig that game.
absolutely Clash of Clans or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
And then
Yeah,
and all they're doing is they're asking for information. And I'll just give them my actual car information. Oh, I'm
yeah,
interested in a quote. Okay, and can you get me lower than this? And then when they come back to me, they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Have a good
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. But it's better than spending $30 on an iTunes card.
That's it, right?
And your gaming experience is much better once you buy the package.
Hell yeah, it is. Because no one, because you got the whales out there, man, who's had
Yeah,
daddy's credit card and just fucking blow through it.
yeah, exactly,
Well,
exactly.
shit. What time is it over there, man? You're on the East Coast, yeah?
It's about to be 1 a.m.
So what do you got planned for the next few days? You are you gonna start getting deeper into your YouTube, or are you gonna just focus on Twitter?
Fuck YouTube, yo.
I don't know, man. You're doing pretty good. You got like 100, like 14, 15,000, right?
Yeah, but that's all from my previous work from 2010, 2011. That's all old work. I've been at 10,000. You know, for years now. At least 2 years I've been at 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So all
Um,
you've grabbed a little bit of room since the viral video and stuff, but
yeah, Fox News gave me like an extra 4K. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's just because they came, but I'm not interested in growing YouTube. They demonetize your videos.
Oh yeah.
They won't let me go live on one of my accounts. Um, and I know how to grow an account. I could have way more subscribers. I don't know if I want to give them that look.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and also, I'm so Twitter heavy that I'm just like my content's on Twitter. It's on Periscope. I'm on Twitter. Follow me there. If you want it.
Well, and Periscope, how's that work? Because it's all Twitter based, right?
Yeah, it's all Twitter based. You're not going to get the SEO for your videos, which kind of sucks. I'm hoping that one day they'll release it and it'll be bookmarked and crawled by the search engines. Um, and then if that happens, it's just like, oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I think it's, you know, uh, I forget the term that they use, but it's not crawled by the web crawlers. um, it's all gated, but I feel like I just want to connect with the people where I connect with them best. I connect with them on Twitter, and that's where it is. YouTube. I feel like at any given moment, I feel like I could grow my YouTube and really kill it on YouTube. So I'll do that when I feel like it. Right now I'm just like
Yeah.
fuck YouTube.
Yeah, and you have a good following on Twitter, so I mean, why not stick with Twitter, you know?
Yeah, I'm more
So,
concerned with Instagram than I am YouTube.
yeah. Well, shit, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool, dude. Like
Great chat.
it was definitely a lot of fun. Alrighty, guys, if you are new here, throw a subscription on the channel. If not, stick around. And I appreciate everyone here. And thank you to Hotep for joining me tonight. And I will see you guys soon.